Okay, some things I wish I knew before I started making soccer content, and I've been making videos for close to 10 years. Um, the first thing would be to focus on fundamental habits that help you grow your life. Because if you can lay down a foundation for healthy living, and developing good relationship with yourself, then you're going to feel more at peace with yourself, and the quality of your work, the quality of your thoughts, the quality of your organization, and your overall effectiveness as a person is going to go through the roof. So what do I mean? Doing simple things like making your bed when you wake up, tidying your room. Like, I have a personal rule for myself that I really break. It's like I don't start filming until the dishes are done, living room's tidied up, bed's made, room is clean. But it took me 27 years to come up, to realize how important that is. Being organized with my life, just investing in a daily planner is something that, if you're a content creator or a maker of any sort, I just became a more effective person. You could start to having it in your pocket. You could start to challenge anyone who's got their calendars synced up in their phone book, right? Just have a schedule off and see, oh, what are you doing on this day? And then you both pull out your phone. One person pulls out the phone, one person pulls out the planner. And I just did that, and I, smoked someone. So, daily planner, if you're a content creator, it's going to improve your effectiveness of the overall things you're trying to improve in people's lives. So that's something I wouldn't take lightly. I would check out Brian Johnson, especially his views on self-sabotage, especially, and Jordan Peterson as well. Jordan Peterson talks about not falling into habits of self-sabotage, but Brian Johnson showed through his testing and his habits, that you can live in a state of such peace, because you're not it's like any action that you do that either blinds your vision and drains your energy for the future. So you're sacrificing short-term clarity for long-term, you will sacrifice today and today's choices, and then you're going to be more drained tomorrow. And just him kind of articulating that the stupidity that our culture enjoys of making poor choices really hit home for me. And that's when I've personally really changed just my habits of drinking almost nothing. And that's a lot coming from someone who enjoys a few drinks just like anyone else, who also works at a bar, right? So it's a little bit challenging, because people who go to bars like to drink with people who like drinking, right? So it's hard to tell a bar patron that you don't want to enjoy drinking with them, but you can't sacrifice your own personal your energy, right? It's just energy. You just want to have good energy. So waking up with energy is so key, especially for good ideas. So not simple things, not smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, vaping and juuling, and drinking is going to make you become a better creator. It's going to give you more energy, which will lead to better sleep, which will lead to more energy, right? So it's this virtuous circle that you got to start aiming for. It's like, get yourself in bed. I remember I used to just, this 10 years ago, I would be smoking weed, and I'd be staying up on the computer, reading and researching and just balancing on a ball. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm working so hard. I wasn't doing shit. So I mean, maybe I learned a little bit, but not as much as if I would have just started treating my sleep cycles, giving my sleep enough respect, prioritizing sleep, prioritizing good habits, right? Even simple things, nighttime routine, hot shower or hot bath before bed, not eating too late, right? Kind of turning off your digestive system. The farther away from bedtime, the better. Brian Johnson says 8 to 10 hours before bed, which is a crazy thought, but at least it was for me. You know, traditionally eating, dinner as a family growing up in the, late afternoon, nighttime, and so this is things I'm working on right now. Sleep mask, right? Brian Johnson, he's blacking out his whole room. There's not a single peep of light in his room. But I realized, I'm not a millionaire, but for $10 you could get an eye mask. Right? Sleep is super important. So anything you could do, right? Effortless ways to get better sleep, do it. Even like that little light flashing from your alarm clock, or that little light flashing from your TV or your computer, right? These little things can add up to just diminish your sleep, and you think, okay, well, it's trivial, but it's not. It's not, because your days are made up of seconds, which are and your years are made up of days. So if you want to live a good year, you got to live a good day. If you want to live a good day, you got to start making choices that are going to compound for the better. Minimalist shoes, right? It's like, it feels funny saying it, but it's super important. You spend most of your time on your feet or your bed, and most people, don't have the money to just be swapping new beds, but your shoes, that's such an easy fix. Glur-ups, if you've never worn a pair of glur-ups, they'll blow your freaking mind, and you don't have to wear socks with them because they got a wool top, right? So now it's like I'm putting my freaking feet into two chinchillas, and they'll blow your freaking mind if you've never worn a pair of glur-ups. GLERUPS. So now I don't even wash I don't even wash socks. I own 0 pair of socks. I don't launder them. They don't get in my way. I don't even think about them. So that's a little joy. That's a rich life that I live. And I have 1 pair of shoes, and the only pair of shoes I own are glur-ups. So I'm not getting paid to say this. This is just where I'm living right now. And right, they're so nice. You can go out to dinner in these puppies. I train in these guys. I go to work in these guys. They're an all-around shoe, right? Training, school, or work and school, going out. I think that's where you got to find a shoe that fits, right? Doesn't matter that they're glur-ups, just whatever shoe that's comfortable for you and can fulfill all those 3 things, and they just knock out so many different decisions, and it just makes your life easier making choices like that. These pants, I own 1 pair of pants, and these are them, and right, they're lightweight, so they're lightweight, but they look professional, and they're breathable, so I can train in them. So the same thing, it's like training, going out, and school and work. If you could hit all those 3 things, then you're onto something. Front-loading breakfast. You gotta have a big breakfast. Everyone's if you're eating doo-doo for breakfast, what are you gonna feel like? Doo-doo. So, some people can get by on ice cream and pizza, but I would say they're outliers, because most people need good sleep and good food to perform optimally. So you could search Charles Poliquin and Tim Ferriss and see what Charles Poliquin is saying about breakfast. Right? This guy's he was the coach of 17 gold medal winners, and his breakfast is a protein, either some type of meat, a steak, a chicken, a fish, seafood, and it's nuts, local berries, local fruit, and an avocado. So that's the variation he eats. Or he'll do some sardines, right? And he'll vary the sardines, anchovies, anything, a high protein, high fat meat in a can, or he'll change up the the variation of nuts to not have any to not have any what's the word? You know, eating the same thing over and over and over might kind of mess with your gut, right? So you want to maybe a little variation, and then he said he does coffee too, but right, simple stuff. What else? Okay, so now let's talk about some bad stuff. Oh wait, I'm not done on good stuff. Good stuff is more good stuff. I've noticed that the more that I think about and share the good things in my life that I've learned, like the more that I try and share and help and give kind of pseudo rules or like good best practices, the more that I actually start following my good advice. So like the more I try and help, the more I help myself. So it's a bit of a paradox. One thing also that I've noticed is that sometimes while I'm mid thought and I articulate, I'll come across an idea that I didn't see coming or that I didn't think that I would think about. It was like a revelation while I'm recording, and it's at that moment that it becomes clear to me that I should have a change in my life. So just trying to communicate the idea the whole activity is going to reflect back something unexpectedly positive. So that's something odd that I found, that while I'm creating content and just trying to share some thoughts, that I didn't see this coming, and this is an unexpected positive. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's talk about some bad stuff. Some bad stuff is, you know, if you're creating content around other people and especially people who you live with, it can definitely impact your relationships with them in a negative way, right? So it may seem like you're quote unquote working, but to them it just seems like you're doing baloney on your phone, and it's significant to where if you're around anyone who's around their phone a lot, it's going to make you feel that they would rather not be on their phone, because like, then why be, just so where I'm going with this is that you kind of want to make time for the people, especially in the start of your day, or wake up early, get your content out of the way, or just get your thoughts down on paper or video. And then, if you got a spouse or you got kids, then if I would prioritize, waking up with them, cooking with them, eating with them, and then leave the home and go to the library or go to Starbucks and go somewhere where you can actually stay focused. Because if you're distracted by the people who you care about, not only will you be distracted, but you're also going to make them feel unimportant, which isn't good. So that's something else to keep in mind. I would say start small. That would be one of the last things. I think, some people create content and it feels forced. They just think they got to do so much, or they think that they have to be someone for someone else, and they're not speaking kind of the truth in their soul. And I think if you really want to help others help themselves, and that's where you have to start from, and not as a measuring contest between, you're not going to be the next Gary Vee, you're not going to be the next whoever, you're only going to be the better version of yourself. And that starts with being truthful to what you know and don't know, and those are great places to start. So that's what that's how, if you spend any time creating content or thinking about these similar things, hopefully this helps. So reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.